The New York Yankees have announced 2 additions to their 40-man roster in Caleb Durbin and Jesus Rodriguez. They will be protected from the Rule 5 draft. They were both Rule 5 eligible. And they're pretty interesting prospects. There's a lot to talk about with both of them. The Yankees also returned Carson Coleman from the Texas Rangers. They were returned Carson Coleman from the Texas Rangers. He was plucked from the Rule 5 draft after 2023 season. He dealt with an elbow injury. He was supposed to come back mid-year. He did not. There is not much information on the kind of elbow surgery he got, nor is there much information on what his timeline looks like now. The Rangers placed him on the 60-day IL, but once the finalization of a 40-man roster comes, you have to activate players off the IL and put them on your 40-man. And if the 60-day IL does not exist in the offseason. There's no 60-day IL you can utilize. So, for example, because the Rule 5 draft requires you to roster a player on your 26-man roster for the entire year you have them, up until this point as well, unless you choose to send them back to their previous organization, the Rangers had the decision to either place them on the 26-man roster or send them back to New York, and that's what they did. So the Yankees get Carson Coleman back. That's 3 players that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the Rule 5 draft process. We're going to talk about all of that and more. Before we get into everything, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and check out Fireside Yankees on various social media platforms. We have an Instagram, a TikTok, a Twitter, a Facebook, and, of course, this YouTube page. But with that being said, let's talk about the Rule 5 draft process in the first place. Now, prospects who are deemed Rule 5 eligible are put into a draft format. Teams across the league are allowed to select those players freely in a certain order, of course. If they select said player, they get to add them to the organization, but they must add them to their 26-man roster and keep them on the 26-man roster from the start of the season to the end of the season, to this point in time in the calendar year. If not, then said player will be returned back to the organization they were drafted from, just like Carson Coleman was. Now, how does this affect the Yankees? The Yankees always have a ton of Rule 5 eligible prospects who they have to decide whether they're going to keep or not keep. The reason it's tougher for the Yankees is because 40-man roster spots for the Yankees and 26-man roster spots for the Yankees are not as easy to grab as with other organizations. For example, Mitch Spence went to the Oakland Athletics because he was drafted out of the Rule 5 draft. He spent the entire year there. He's going to remain in Oakland A. He is not going to be returned to the Yankee organization. And it's because he was, a back-end starter, basically. He was a fine 5-starter. The Yankees don't really have room for another fine 5-starter. If the Yankees added a 5-starter to their roster right now and paid real money for it, it look really weird. They do not have room for it. They have 6 starters. They just don't have room for Mitch Spence. That's the reality of it. It's not because he's not a major leaguer. It's because they specifically need better than a 4.58 ERA across 151 innings. They need more than that, so they didn't feel the need to roster him. Spence displayed some upside. I think it can be a better pitcher than that, but you get my point. Where it pertains to Durban and Jesus Rodriguez, though, is that I think the Yankees, number one, with Caleb Durbin's case, view him as a major league starting kind of caliber player potentially, or at least a utility man. And Rodriguez, you just want more catching depth. I don't know if he's going to stick at catcher, but he is catching depth. You are potentially going to lose some if you choose to either A, trade Jose Trevino, or B, he walks in free agency next year. So you just want to have as many options as possible. Carson Narvaez is their current third-string catcher, and he does not have much major league experience either. But Caleb Durbin, he's someone I think is going to be a household name in terms of prospects in the Yankee organization by the time spring training rolls around. He was awesome in AAA. He hit 287. He had a 129 WRC plus, 10 home runs in 82 games. He stole 29 bases in 32 attempts. He carried that over into a great Arizona Fall League stint where he stole 29 bases in 24 games, which set the single season record. He was named the Arizona Fall League Breakout Player of the Year. He was also named an Arizona Fall League Fall Star, which is basically their all-star game. His team, alongside other Yankee prospects like Garrett Martin, Carlos LaGrange, and Antonio Gomez, and Harrison Cohen and Luis Pacheco as well. I don't want to forget the relievers. Oh, and one more guy, Jackson Fristow. That's my dude. He throws gas. I love Jackson Fristow. Those guys there was a ton of Yankees in the AFL. I forget how many Yankees play in the AFL. they won the championship, so Durban got to play in the championship game, got to play in the postseason a little bit. He was awesome. He was really fun to watch. He was really fun to see play. He had a barrel rate north of 10%, which is a huge spike from his barrel rate at the minor league level, and perhaps it's an indication that his power is improving, because that's really the last aspect of his offensive skill set that he needs to improve. He's pulling the ball a ton in the air. That's really encouraging for his ability to get more power out of his smaller frame. He has excellent bat-to-ball skills. He struck out just 9.9% of the time in AAA. This year, he had, I believe, just one more strikeout than home runs in the Arizona Fall League, which is nuts. His ability to run the bases is elite. His defense is very good, and he's very versatile. He's someone who I believe has a lot of major league viability in 2025 and could break camp with the team and maybe even win a starting job. As it pertains to Jesus Rodriguez is not major league ready. He is someone who's being added because he's Rule 5 eligible, and I believe the Yankees think that this guy can help them in 2026 maybe, or maybe late in 2025 if he really breaks out. He had a 144 WRC plus in 78 games between high A and double A. Most of his success came in high A because in double A he dealt with multiple injuries and was limited. Now, personally, I think Rodriguez has one of the best hit tools in the organization. Over the last 2 years, he is hitting 307 at the minor league level. That's the highest mark for any Yankee with at least 500 plate appearances over that sample size. He also has the second highest WRC plus over that stretch at 138. His raw power isn't great, but his ability to spray the ball to all parts of the field, he has an excellent opposite field approach, can pull the ball a decent bit and hit some home runs with that. Good gap-to-gap power, excellent contact rates, very aggressive in zone, and I think that helps him. He does have some chase issues, but I think that's fine with me. He chases a little more than major league average, or minor league average. That's fine with me, because he's super aggressive in zone. He overall makes what I consider to be pretty good swing decisions because he's as aggressive as he is and makes as much contact as he does. And the Yankees have not positioned him to just play catcher. Now, he's primarily a catcher, but he's played third, second, first, left field. I don't really know what the Yankees' plan for him is defensively. I don't know if he has a home defensively yet, so that'll be interesting to monitor as the season goes on next year. But he's entering his age 23 season. He just completed his age 22 season and reached AA. That's an accomplishment in and of itself. If he's able to have success in AA in his age 23 season and really not kind of hit, but hit the way he was hitting in high A, which was, we're talking 900 OPS numbers. I think he has an ability to make the AAA team pretty soon. I think he'd make that jump pretty fast. And then I think the Yankees would seriously consider, okay, what's his bat looking like? Where's his defense? Where is it more valuable? Where can we play him? And kind of look into, either A, are we going to trade him, or B, is he going to be a major league player for us? Either outcome is still fine. August Ramirez last year, I thought he had some serious thump in his bat, and he still has some serious thump in his bat. He ended up being traded for Jazz Chisholm. That's a success in my opinion, right? I think he could go on to be a good player, and I'll be happy for him, but Jazz Chisholm is a big part of why the Yankees won the AL East this past year. So, I have no quarrels with that trade. I have no quarrels with paying a top 100 prospect price. And honestly, I think that acquisition of an IFA was a success, and the same thing would be here with Jesus Rodriguez. He's either traded for a player who becomes a contributor for you, or B, becomes a contributor in and of just becomes a contributor on his own for the Yankee organization. The last player we're going to talk about is Carson Coleman. Now, he was not protected from the Rule 5 draft. He was not added to the 40-man roster. In fact, he was returned from the Rule 5 draft by the Texas Rangers to the New York Yankees. He is someone who we interviewed in 2022 after his awesome 2022 campaign. He was incredible between AA and high A. He's entering his age 27 season. He had elbow surgery after 2022. He signed as a UDFA with the Yankees prior to the 2021 season. I really have high hopes for him. His stuff is ridiculous. He struck out 37.8% of batters faced, so across 63 and a third innings pitched. He had 95 minor league strikeouts. He had 2.13 ERA in high A and AA combined. He closed out the final game of the Somerset Patriots championship run. He could be the next guy to be a major league player from that group. That team has a lot of major leaguers on it. Anthony Volpe, also Peraza, I believe Oswaldo Cabrera spent a little bit of time there, Austin Wells, Jason Dominguez, I believe there are not Luis Gil, Johnny Brito was on that team for a bit, Randy Vasquez was on that team for a good chunk of the year. They had just have a lot of major leaguers on that team. So there are a lot of guys who we will see either on the Yankees or on other major league teams that came through that 2022 squad. So that team, has a chance to produce another big leaguer here. Coleman, if he's healthy, his stuff is ridiculous. His fastball can sit at, 95, 96. He can touch 98. Tons of vertical movement, tons of spin, weird arm slot. He's devastating. He's gross. He's nasty. It's just a health question. And for relievers, you take the risk on whether they're going to be healthy or not. Every single time. I don't care if a reliever has a bad track record, health-wise. All it takes is 1 or 2 healthy years for you to get the value you're looking for. So, you're not paying him $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. You're just getting him back to your organization. I think this is great for the Yankees. It's a good lottery ticket to have. It's a good flyer of a prospect to have, and I hope he has a ton of success. And I hope maybe we can get into contact with him and talk to him a little bit about his injury progression and where his direction is as a pro going from there. But with that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys checking out Fireside Yankees as always. If you like today's video, you guys can check us out on our other videos and what we've got posting. You guys can subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like, comment, all that stuff. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below and support our channel. And of course, you guys can check us out on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Fireside Yankees, and Instagram, it's at fireside.yankees. Love you guys so much. Thank you again. Let's go Yankees. Peace